Coming in as my number 5 pick of worst album of the year is All That Remains album, Madness. Now this album came with 2 singles before this album was released. The first one I heard was Safe House, and Safe House kind of reminded me of more of the brutal metalcore sound that the band was known for on an album like, I don't know, maybe Overcome. And I thought it was a pretty good song. Not great as The Fall of Ideals, but it was a pretty good track. And then you have the title track come along and squander that completely. Honestly, the riff sounds like something that would come out of Five Finger Death Punch's catalog. Oh yeah, speaking of which, do you hear that Five Finger Death Punch is releasing a new album next year? Yay, I'm so excited to be reviewing that next year. But wait, this album comes with a couple twists. Not only do they add electronics into their sound with this record, and a little bit of metalcore, keyword little. They add a couple country ballads to this album. No way. It's not like they've done it on the past couple of releases they've done. Back to You and Far From Home, they sound like something I would hear on the country stations. Yeah, with these two, I can't stand these two. And this album ends on a completely mediocre cover of The Thunder Rolls. The one saving grace this song has is the guitar work, and that's pretty much about it. I like the guitar riff that flows through it. But Phil's vocals on this track just kill it. They just put a stake in my heart from wanting to listen to it again. So, overall, after Madness, my hopes were completely crushed. Thanks to Autotune. Thanks, Howard Benson. Number 4 pick for this list was kind of an already given that it was going to be on this list. I just didn't know where it was going to go. Gossip by Sleeping with Sirens. Whew. I did a triple review on this record along with The Killers and Fergie. And talk about going a complete 180 into pop music. And it just went to shit. That's all I have to say about this. I mean, Legends was released back in July. And after hearing that, I thought, you know, what happened to the guys that wrote If I'm James Dean, You're Audrey Hepburn? If You Can't Hang? They did a collaboration with MGK on the track Alone. Roger Rabbit even kicked me, for fuck's sake. What happened? I thought their last album, Madness, was actually pretty enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. And it doesn't even feel like the band is even here half the time. It just feels like a Kellen Quinn solo record. Well, you know, this is like the generic version of All Time Low's record. Except take out the band completely and replace it with a chipmunk voice. Or Chipettes, I can't really tell. I mean, his voice is pretty high. You know, there was only one enjoyable track that I didn't mind from this release, and that's the promotional single, Empire to Ashes, that kind of returns to more of the rock sound that the band were known for, but yeah, as bland as it wasn't as mediocre, and it had some, at least more than one aspect that I could like from it. And it didn't make me want to skip it 4 or 5 seconds after listening to it. And no, I wasn't trying to make a reference that featured Rihanna, Kanye West, and Paul McCartney at the same time. But otherwise, guys, it's sad to see this band go down like this. I feel like if they continue going down this route, not only are they going to lose more fans, I feel like they're going to lose all the cred that they have accomplished ever since 2009 when the band was formed. Next, my number 3 pick shouldn't be a surprise to any metalheads out there. Suicide Silence's self-titled 5th album. God, what a train wreck. Doris came out, I listened to it, I hated it. End of story. Next. But you mean I have to talk about it still? Fine. I guess I'll still talk about it. Yeah, you remember the guys that wrote You Can't Stop Me, their previous album? Yeah, they're not on this record. This sounds like what would happen if you got maybe, I don't know, maybe a Korn, Deftones-ish cover band, And you brought him into the studio with the worst production ever, the most boring nu metal riffs, and the worst clean singing ever. Ugh. That's this album in a fucking nutshell. Did I mention this was coming from a deathcore band? Yeah, that was coming off what I consider to be their best work. Yes, that's true. I mean, yeah, Mitch died, and I thought his screaming was pretty well done, but I think You Can't Stop Me was a pretty damn solid release from the band. And after listening to their second single, Silence, I knew this album was going to be a disaster even before it was released. I mean, you had tracks like Conformity. Conformity tries to play out this acoustic ballad and fails. It just doesn't sit right. Listen just comes out very generic. And the ending track, Don't Be Careful, You Might Hurt Yourself, that tries to go back to the deathcore roots that this band was known for, and just falls right flat on its face still. It doesn't connect with the rest of this record. Throughout this entire 9-track, 45-minute runtime, I didn't find any enjoyment in this album. You know, and I hope the people that made this record, you know, the band that was behind it, you know, I really hope they go somewhere one day. Right. This is Suicide Silence. Right. Number 2 pick shouldn't be any surprise to anybody either, as I had stated in that video, which is one of my most watched videos on this channel, as of lately. Theory of a Deadman. Nickelback Jr., as you'd like to call him. Theory of a Deadman. Wake Up Call. You know, I'm actually surprised a lot of you haven't asked right now, where's Nickelback on this list? Well, here's the thing about that. As much as I don't want to say it, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate comments after saying this. Nickelback released a pretty solid release. Whoa. I never said it was album of the year material, so chill with that. You know, I wish I would have said the same thing, because I enjoyed Savages for what it was. What happened to the guys that wrote songs such as No Surprises? By the way, how you remind... yeah, that's right, that's not their song. Sorry. Even Bitch Came Back. And Bitch Came Back borrowed off of a fucking nursery rhyme. And where direction do these guys go after probably one of their heaviest records to date? I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. With that monotone delivery vocalization. And a looping pop rock acoustic guitar on RX. And this is a chart topper on the mainstream rock charts. Why? Echoes featured some piano, which is a nice change of pace, but I mean, it's expected a little bit because they did this on the previous album. Wake Up Call has the worst auto-tune in the world. Poe Mouth has a bad synth line. Glassjaw just tries to go back to the rock sound and fails. I also forgot to mention on Wake Up Call, that auto-tune is so bad it makes T-Pain look like God and Future as Jesus. Sorry for that comparison. I know I'm going to get a lot of controversy. Sorry. But this album ends on a half-assed cover of Chris Isaak's album, or Chris Isaak's song. See, this album is so bad I can't even talk. Chris Isaak's song, Wicked Game. You know, Nickelback, as I said, came back with some of their strongest material to date at this point in their career. And that album would be laughing in this album's face right now. You know, I predicted this album to be in my top 10, but it didn't get number 1. Luckily, there was one more artist that had an album that was so terrible that I'm forced to talk about it right now. Alright, here's the moment you all been waiting for. Bam. Memories Do Not Open by the Chainsmokers. Worst album of the year, in my opinion. Is anyone really surprised, though? I mean, who expected Linkin Park's One More Light to show up on this list? I took it out due to respect of Chester Bennington's passing. after listening to it a couple more times, I didn't find it to be that bad of an album. It's not one of my favorites, but I mean, it's not a bad record. Rest in peace, Chester. Was I too nice to Lil Uzi Vert's Love Is Rage 2? Did I even care enough for DJ Khaled's Grateful album? No, this is just the album that's taking the cake this year. God, where in the fuck do I even begin with this record? I listened to this record, and the one thing that came out of it whenever I got done listening to it was, is this what music's come to nowadays? Just this generic EDM pop music that's either about breakups, coming to someone's aid, or just living it up for the night. Because that's what I'm interpreting this album as. The first song we got was, I mean, I didn't mind Roses. I actually kind of liked Don't Let Me Down. But Closer and that one song they did with Phoebe Ryan makes me want to rip my ears out entirely. There was a collaboration with Coldplay that was released as the first song released from this album, and it made no sense. I can't stand Chainsmokers. I can't stand Coldplay, Sierra 2010, maybe after Milo Xyloto a little bit. God. And this album ends on a collaboration with Florida Georgia Line, you know, most bro artists of the bro country genre. On the track, you know, I can't even remember that track. I don't even want to talk about that track. Whoever said that Florida Georgia Line should go pop is definitely on something. And the Chainsmokers are up there with them for agreeing to do this song. You know what, the lyrics on this thing sound like... They sound like a 4th grader trying to say something to a girl he's trying to impress while not trying to be beaten senselessly. That's how bad I think of this, especially the lyrical content. It's stale, it's repetitive, it's the most boring thing ever, and I hate the instrumentals on it. Especially Break Up Every Night. Tried to go alternative rock maybe, but just it falls flat on its face too. I mean, even look at that album cover. It just has a box that says Memories. I mean, yeah, it's not terrible, but I mean, it's bad. I mean, there are worse. I'm looking at you, Maroon 5. But overall, not impressed with this group, and Hope a Miracle makes them a ton better. No. A fuck ton better artists, musicians, even DJs in the world. That's how bad I hate this record. So, thank you all for watching. If you have stuck around for this long, I appreciate it. Sorry about the language. Tried to keep it as PG-13 as I could, and I kind of went a little overboard. So, yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, it means a lot that you guys have watched up to this point, so thank you all for watching. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can click right over here to see what I'm going to be doing next, or just catch up on a review in general or a video that I posted. If you want to see the latest video that I posted, you can click right over here. See that video right there. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the countdown. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you soon.